Next case, deputy.
Number 5, Mr. Griffin.
'23 CR 004405H, Giovanni Griffin. Charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence pretrial.
Griffith, second arrest. Last was back in 07. Carrying a concealed weapon, carrying a pistol without a license, possession of a pistol under 18 years of age.
Okay.
That's it.
State.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred back on April 19th of 2023, where officers were dispatched to regarding a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, officers came in contact with the victim, Ms. Anita Blake. Ms. Blake advised officers that she was assaulted by the father of her daughter, the defendant. She said that they were arguing inside of the apartment, and the defendant slapped her on the left side of her face with an open hand. Officers did observe a small bruise on her left forearm, and Your Honor, the defendant fled the scene. Your Honor, the victim and the defendant are no longer in a relationship, but they do share one child, as mentioned. The victim no longer lives at the incident location, so the state will not be requesting a stay away. The victim did confirm the events in the warrant. The victim did state that she is not in fear. However, given the fact that there was a minor child at the place, and the defendant did slap her, the victim did confirm the events in the warrant, the state is going to request a $3,000 surety bond and no further contact with Ms. Anita Blake, and at the appropriate time, if the court can sound for her.
All right, Ms. Anita Blake.
Also, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I just want to put on the record that the victim also did file a TPO against the defendant. That TPO is 2023 CV382121. And it is active.
All right. PD Wills.
My client is 32 years old. As it was stated, he has very minimal criminal history, practically none. He is employed. He has several jobs. He works for Amazon, DoorDash. He's also a traveling vendor. He will not qualify to be represented by the public defender's office. He has a high school diploma, and he plans to enroll in college courses next spring. He has one child, a 3-month-old, who he shares with the alleged victim in this case. I do want it noted that this incident did occur back in April. My client states that the alleged victim was upset. She accused my client of cheating. An argument pursued. My client states that she is always angry and upset. She was living with him for a period of time, and he was actually on the verge or threatened with being evicted, possibly because of her behavior. He states that on the date of this occurrence, they were arguing. She got upset. She mushed him in the face. He mushed her back. That's basically the extent of it. But she did carry on. There are several witnesses who have witnessed her on that day and on other occasions carrying on loudly, yelling at the defendant. They can hear her screaming at him constantly. My client states that in addition, after my client, after the verbal agreement or disagreement, the alleged victim told my client that he would never see his daughter again. My client did suffer injuries as a result of her physical contact with him. He suffered injuries to his back, his head, his torso, and she's also been physical with him on an occasion after this date. As it was stated, she no longer lives with my client. She has moved out. He has no desire to have contact with her. He has family members here who can facilitate third-party visitation. He's actually in a program that's going to help him legitimate his child. And so for all of those reasons, I would ask for a signature bond. Again, this incident happened 3 months ago. My client has not had any other issues with this young lady. And he just wishes to move on and live peacefully alone and away from her.
Your Honor, the state.
Your Honor, I'm here. Anita Blake is here.
Do you wish to address the court?
Yes, I do. So the
Hold on,
altercation that occurred
Ms. Blake, I have to
I'm
see you to let you speak. You have to come to
Okay.
the camera and I'll swear you in first. So slow down a minute, hold on, and
Okay.
I'll come to you. So get your camera working first so I can see you, and then I'm gonna see what ASG Jones needs to tell me. Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. I was just going to ask that you do not take into account any of the alleged allegations about her abusing him on this day and him having bruises. I think had he stayed at the scene when the police was called instead of fleeing, we would have been able to verify those things. But this defendant decided to leave from the scene. So we would just ask that you don't take that into consideration, as that is not a part of the warrant that was taken out for this particular case.
Your Honor,
Okay.
all of these are allegations at this time, and my client left because the situation had escalated to a point where he felt unsafe, so he chose to leave to de-escalate the situation. Ms. Blake attempted to prevent him from leaving and cause further injury to my client.
Okay. And Miss Blake, where are you? You're at iPhone 3?
I'm right here. Yes.
Okay, we normally require you to put your name in there so we'll know who we have on the
I'm
screen.
sorry, I am at work, so.
Okay. All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, put your hand down. What are you going to tell me?
So that incident wasn't how he told his representation. Basically, I went to go get my other kids from my friend's house.
Hold on a second. Hold on a
it's
second.
been
Hold on a
floating
second. Hold on a second. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not going to necessarily go through all the facts of the case. This is not your trial. This is not your hearing. This is a bond hearing. So I have two questions to ask you. Do you want to continue to have contact with Mr. Griffin? Did you hear me?
Yeah, we have a child together. I don't want a third party. Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, now I can. And are you in fear of Mr. Griffin?
No, I am not.
Any cross-examination by the state?
Just very briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Blake, you did call the police on this particular day, correct?
No, I did not. It was one of the neighbors when he proceeded to run out the door screaming at the top of his lungs.
Okay, thank you. The next thing is you did file for a TPO against the defendant after this event took place, correct?
There was a situation that occurred between us, and his sister stated that I should go ahead and file a temporary protective order.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right.
I have a couple of questions. Ms. Blake, did you in fact file that TPO?
I beg your pardon, I can't hear you.
Is there a TPO in place between yourself and my client?
I did go ahead and file it, but I'm supposed to have a hearing on Friday, and I was gonna have asked them if they can drop it.
Okay, because you would like to have contact with Mr. Griffith, correct?
Due to us having a 3-month-old child, I feel like we should be able to coexist together for the sake of our 3-month-old without having a third party.
Okay, nothing further. I will renew my request for a signature bond, Your Honor. And again, my client does not desire to have any contact with Ms. Blake.
Your Honor, we would side on the side of them not having direct contact, third party contact, Your Honor. No further contact, and if there is contact, that it be from a third party, Your Honor.
We're in agreement.
Yes, we are completely.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order the $3,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order stay away from 30.
Oh, Your Honor, that is my client's address, and Ms. Blake is the one who vacated that property.
Ms. Blake, do you still reside at this property?
No, ma'am, I moved about 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I will take the stay away off, but there should be no further contact. Let's see, this was April. I'm sorry. No further violent contact between the parties. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that's all I'm going to order. No further violent contact with the victim or the child.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Your Honor.
Next, we have number 6, Mr. Griggs.